All right, welcome back to the Friday version of Take What You Can, episode 22. Today, we are gonna talk about the week 15 games, starting with last night's game. A great game. I love those kind of games because at the end of the day, they're really just strategic. Division rival, low scoring. What are you going to do in this situation in the second quarter might affect the actual outcome. Very small decisions affecting the grand scheme of the game, which it typically does, but when it's this low scoring, they're magnified. So it becomes a chess match. And really impressive on the part of the Rams because they can beat the Bills 44-42 the week before, or less than a week before, and then go beat a division rival 12-6. When at the 49ers when they're 3-point favorites. So really, really impressive game. What was interesting to me, we talked about this the other episode. The Rams have a real chance to just win out and win this division. And if I'm Seattle, I'm scared. And if I'm Seattle, I better win against Green Bay on Sunday night. That's really my only shot because I don't think I can beat the Rams. I know they don't obviously think that. They're not going to think that way, but just know they better beat Green Bay or they're probably not making the playoffs. This is a huge game. So, excuse me. Jeez. Deebo Samuel. After all that talk, you drop a wide open slant route and you could have gone so far with it. Now, I don't doubt that he's very talented. I really don't. Maybe not as talented as he used to be, but he's still very talented. I just think he's going through a confidence issue. I talked about this a little bit on Twitter. I think really the problem is he's trying to talk himself up. He's really trying to talk himself up. So I would say, he needs some way to find confidence again. I don't know if he has to leave San Francisco. I don't know if he needs just more touches, something. I don't know. But Brock Purdy did not play well. I ran a poll. Excuse me. Hold on. I'm going to go get some water. Holy cow. All right, we're back. Okay, hopefully that helps. I cannot talk right now. Brock Purdy, he did not have a great game by any means. I even ran a poll just asking 49ers fans, do you trust Brock Purdy in difficult weather games, basically was the question. 79% said no. I had about 30 people respond. Decent sample size. 79% said no. And I get it, man. He's not super physically talented. And when I saw him miss that deep crossing route to Ricky Pearsall at the end of the game, that could have set him up to have a chance to win on a Hail Mary. Because he was wide open. He just straight up missed him. I know it's raining, but I don't know. You play in San Francisco, so maybe you don't deal with a lot of difficult weather games, but it was just messy for the 49ers altogether. I even ran a poll. Do you want Brock Purdy back next season? 28 votes, 78%, almost 79% said no. Which maybe they're just being emotional about it. But I think, I don't know. There's something weird about this 49ers team. It just feels like it's kind of crumbling. It definitely does. I And I don't know. But I also said, like, hey, if I'm Kyle Shanahan, I wouldn't be shocked if I left San Francisco, but I'd be shocked if I went to Chicago for sure. There's no way I'm going to Chicago. I don't care if Caleb Williams is there. There's no chance. And if he does, I mean, I'm pretty sure the hit rate on coaches who go to their second team is not great. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm taking that gamble with Chicago. But on the other side of the football, the Rams played a great game. You know, little more QB sneaks than I'd like to see from a 36-year-old quarterback. But hey, if he doesn't get injured, that's fine. Puka was great. He's so well-rounded. He's such a great player. Their defensive line is inexperienced, but they are playing out of their minds, and they played really well against San Francisco as well. Yeah, I just think the Rams are learning how to win at an elite level, and it's getting scary. So I'd watch out for the Rams. I would not want to run into the Rams by any means. But all right, let's hop into these other games. My cats are running all over the place. This is crazy. Usually they are outside of the room, locked in the bathroom because I have two orange cats. So for those of you who have cats or know what orange cats are like, they are speed demons. They are crazy cats. So usually I lock them away, but I'm going to give them a chance today because I'm feeling nice. But okay, let's hop into these games. So we got Dallas, Carolina. You know, Carolina's been playing really well lately. Carolina, they're 3-point favorites. I think I saw for the first time in like 2 years. That's crazy. But I'm not surprised. It's at Carolina. I don't know. The Cowboys typically play better on the road. But here, let's bring up these matchups here. So we're going to start with Carolina's offense versus Dallas's defense. Let's see what kind of matchups we have. I'm really, really concerned about Micah Parsons walking off the field. I don't think he's going to want to stay. I think he's asking for a trade this offseason. But we'll see. Okay. So I think the Cowboys have a very talented defensive line. Micah Parsons is the one who's really playing well out of them all. You know, the Panthers' offensive line is really starting to come into their own. You know, Damian Lewis has been playing well, solid. Iquanu. I thought it was Iquanquo. No, I'm thinking of the tight end from the Titans. Yeah, Iquanu, who came out a couple years ago, he was drafted really high. He's finally starting to play well. Taylor Moton's always just been solid. Solid player. Robert Hunt's playing solid. Yeah, this offensive line is getting better. My cat's freaking out. Okay, Adam Thielen is one of the most underrated wide receivers of all time. Are you going to chill out? Holy cow. Okay, so Chuba Hubbard's probably playing the best football of his career. Not super productive, but he's definitely making it work. So this offensive skill, I mean, this offense is playing better than what you would think. All right. Cats are losing their privileges. I'll be right back. And yep, that ended quickly. Yeah, I'm never trying that again. They just cannot chill out at all. Okay, yeah, I would say, you know, the Cowboys defense is definitely playing better. But the way Bryce Young is playing, I don't know. I'm going to give like a 51-49 split for Carolina in this matchup. But let's do the flip side here. Let's do Cowboys offense versus Carolina's defense. Pulling it up here. Okay, so Tyler Smith's playing great. You know, he's definitely a better guard. Guyton's a rookie. He's struggling, but I kind of knew that would happen. Cooper Beebe. They're playing these guys a lot faster than I think they anticipated. Brock Hoffman's playing solid. Terrence Steele he's so up and down. But Dowdle's been making some plays. CeeDee Lamb's meh. He's been playing good, but they tried to force feed him too much. I think the Cowboys should try to start Schoonmaker instead of Ferguson. They're going to have to do like a pretty big overhaul on this offense. And this Carolina defense is not playing well either. Holy cow. And this is just based off PFF grades. But here, let me pull up some of the rankings here. Carolina Panthers. Let's see here where they are ranked. Holy cow. The production value on this is amazing. Oh my gosh. This is one of the worst episodes ever, dude. Holy cow. I can't talk at the beginning. My cats are freaking out. I got to kick them out. And then I got giant dings going on in the background. Okay. Well, that is all right. We will power through it. Okay, let's see here. Team stats and rankings. So the defense is not, yikes. Okay. They're ranking last in yards and rushing yards. They're not doing bad against passing yards, but they're doing bad against... Wait, let me see here. Yeah, they're just not doing well overall, honestly. Yeah, they're doing really bad. So I got to give the edge to the Cowboys offense. I think it's a bigger edge than the Panthers offense has on the Cowboys. This is going to be a close game, man. I'm going to pick Dallas. I know it's easy to want to hop on Carolina's hype train, but yeah, I'm going to pick Dallas. I think Dallas is going to very, very small margin points here. That didn't even make sense. I think they're going to win by a small margin. Okay, so I'm going Dallas there. Okay, next we have Kansas City, Cleveland. Kansas City's 4-point favorites. Okay, let's pull up the matchup here. Let's start with Chiefs offense, Browns defense. This is probably going to be the more interesting. Actually, maybe not more interesting because you got Jameis Winston on the other side, but this definitely will probably be the matchup that wins or loses the game. Let's see here. Pacheco's looking great when he's back here already. Myles Garrett's playing great. Their defensive line is solid. Other than, they're not great, but they're solid with Myles Garrett. Their linebackers aren't playing bad. You'll take it for sure. Otherwise, yeah, Denzel Ward. Yeah, their defense isn't bad by any means. Let me pull up their rankings here. Cleveland Brown rankings here. Defensively, they're 26th in points allowed. Wow. 13th in passing yards. 22nd. Okay, so their secondary is definitely better than their rush defense. But yeah, I'm definitely going to have to give the edge out to Kansas City because they're going to want to run the ball a lot. And I like the way they're playing football. I know they're barely winning a lot of games, but yeah, a W is a W, So let's hop on the flip side. I think I know the answer to this question, but we're going to do Browns offense versus Kansas City's defense. And the great thing about Kansas City and great teams is they know how to win no matter the circumstance and no matter how good their team is. So, according to PFF grades, Cleveland's offensive line is playing terrible. But I think a lot of that has to do with Deshaun Watson getting sacked a lot. And I think this offensive line is better than what it's grading. Jameis Winston's playing pretty well. Jerome Ford's solid. Jerry Jeudy's playing better than he usually does by any stretch of the imagination. Um, yeah, I mean, the Chiefs just have key guys at key places and just a lot of solid players around them, and they just play well overall. But I will back that up with some stats here. Let's look at where Kansas City measures up statistically. So team stats and rankings. Okay. Defense, they're ranked 7th in points allowed, 6th in yards. Definitely a better run defending team than a pass defending team. So, I don't know, man. Jameis is going to make it interesting for sure. But I think I don't know. You ever feel like you see all the stats and then you're just like, no. it's it's just built into the cake, or it's baked into the cake so well that Jameis Winston would beat Patrick Mahomes. And this is at Cleveland. 36 degrees, light rain, supposedly. Yeah, you know what? I think Jameis Winston, I don't have any statistics to back this up, but I think Jameis Winston's going to be the reason that the Browns beat the Chiefs. I'm not saying this is a great take. I just feel it in my bones that the Browns are going to pull off the upset. Everyone thought it'd be Carolina, but I think it's going to be Cleveland. So I'm picking Cleveland. All right, Miami, Houston. Interesting matchup. Miami's hot right now. Houston they're a scary team because they've found every kind of way to blow a game. So let's look at the matchups. So we're going to start with Texans offense, Dolphins defense. So offensive line internally is not playing well for Kansas City. They do have Shaq Mason, who's solid, but they're getting better play out of their tackles than their interior offensive line, which they'll definitely need to address next offseason. You know, they have really talented wide receiver group, even without Stephon Diggs. Joe Mixon's playing amazing when he's on the field. CJ Stroud's really good as well. He may just be going through a little bit of a sophomore slump, but that's okay. The defensive line of the Dolphins doesn't seem to be playing bad. You know, their secondary has a lot of talent. I know, according to his grade, Javon Holland isn't playing very well, but he's a good player. So let's look at some of the breakdowns here. I want to pull up the Dolphins defense again. If I can find it, Miami Dolphins. And they're trying to make the playoffs. And if the Dolphins want to make the playoffs, they definitely have to beat the Texans. Okay, they're the 14th ranked defense after all the injuries, huh? 9 in yards, really good against the run, solid against the pass. Yeah, they're playing pretty well. Okay, let's do the flip side so I'm going to give the edge. I think I'm going to do a 51-49 split on the Texans offense. It is very, very close, but let's do the flip side of things. Dolphins offense versus the Texans defense. I just like to see everyone visually. I like to see how this lineup matches up. Okay, so obviously the Texans defensive line is better than the Dolphins offensive line. However, you're going to have to play these guys in man coverage, and you're going to have to keep your safeties high the whole time. And you're going to have to play nickel most of the time. Because they're so fast. Tua gets the ball out so fast that you got to stay with guys right away. So more than likely, you're going to have Stingley on Tyreek Hill. You're going to have Lassiter on Waddle. Jonnu Smith's been playing really well. I might. I mean, despite their record, this is a talented offense. So, and Tua is playing out of his mind right now. So, I would say I'm going to give the edge to the Dolphins. And I think it's a bigger gap than 51-49. I think I'm going to give this game I think I'm going to pick the Dolphins. Texans are favored by 3 points. They're at home, but I don't know. I think the Dolphins have to win this game. I think they feel like they have to win this game more than the Texans do. Texans have been so shaky. I'm going to go Dolphins on this one. All right, let's pull up Jets Jaguars. So the Jets are 3.5-point favorites. That's interesting. Let's start with the Jags offense versus the Jets defense. The Jets are just a mess, man. They should be way better than they are. It's sad. Okay. Obviously, we've talked about the Jags before. Below average offensive line, but not horrible. The Jets definitely have some talent on the defensive line, but they're not really playing up to, maybe you could say, their potential. Solid secondary, solid linebackers. Where are the Jets ranking defensively here? How are we doing? New York Jets. The fact that they're 3-10 is crazy. But also, like, if you fire your head coach at the beginning of the season, like, what do you think's going to happen, Or in the middle of the season. Okay, so they're 4th ranked in yards, but 20th in points allowed. That doesn't add up. That's just coaching. 7th in passing, 29th in rush. Okay, so they're struggling against the run. Really bad. Really, really bad. Okay. But I don't really see the Jags being able to dominate in the run game like that. I think their strength comes from their skill positions at this point. So I'm going to give the Jets defense the edge there. But let's see here. Jets offense, Jaguars defense. I feel like I know where I'm leading here. I don't know. Do the Jets want Aaron Rodgers back? I doubt it. Imagine owning a team and just like wasting season after season. Just your own personal vendettas. Okay, the offensive line is definitely talented for the Jets. I don't know if they're playing super well, but I mean, I just look at this offense and it should be a lot better than it is. The Jags defense, I mean, Josh Hines-Allen's playing well. Trayvon Walker's getting better. Mason Smith, I really liked him coming out. They definitely have some guys up front. But I would say that strikes about even. Linebackers, they have solid linebackers. Conklin ain't breaking anybody's ankles. They're struggling in the secondary. I mean, yeah, I think the Jets are going to eat on the Jaguars in the passing game. I don't know about the running game. Let's see where they're ranked on defense here. Team stats and rankings. Okay, they're 32nd in yards allowed. Bad at stopping the pass, bad at stopping the run. They're just bad. Yeah, I'm going to pick the Jets in this game. So far we've got Dallas beating Carolina, Cleveland beating Kansas City, Miami beating Houston, the Jets beating the Jags, and we've got the Redskins versus the Saints. I also saw, I know I've been a big proponent of the Redskins coming back. The way they make it sound is that maybe they're going to still call them the Commanders, but just bring back the old logo, which would be dumb. I think that's dumb. Either way, okay, let's pull up. I think the Saints are without Derek Carr. They are, okay, yeah. This is all Commanders. I'm sorry. I'd like to break this down more, but you don't have Derek Carr. Commanders are a good team. Yeah, this is. I mean, there's a reason they're 7.5 point favorites. Yeah. So I'm going Washington Redskins on that one. Okay. Ravens Giants. The Ravens are 16 point favorites. Holy cow. Holy moly. That's a big margin. Is that the biggest one we've got? Yeah, definitely. Definitely the biggest margin we got. Okay, let's break it down. Okay, let's start with the Giants offense, which is really bad, versus the Ravens defense. I definitely know the answer, but I'd like to see maybe where the Giants could possibly gain some momentum. But what's interesting is that they think this game's going to be 42.5 points combined. Like, that's the spread. I don't know if... I guess the Ravens could, like, go off, because I don't think the Giants are going to score a lot of points. But we'll see here. What am I doing? Okay, Baltimore Ravens defense versus Giants offense. Is Tommy DeVito playing? Is that what's going on? Is Drew Lock hurt? Let me see here. Drew Lock. Holy cow. Oh, he might be emergency QB because he's in a boot right now. Holy cow. Yeah, holy cow. Yikes, it's just embarrassing to look at. I don't mean to be mean, but holy cow. They just don't have really anything. They just don't. And the Ravens defense isn't perfect. They've definitely got some holes, but they're definitely good. Let me see where they're ranking at. I mean, to be honest, it doesn't even really matter because the Giants aren't strong at anything, you know? Doesn't matter what the Giants or what the Ravens aren't good at because the Giants aren't good enough at anything to, like, make a difference. Okay, they're really good in the rush. They're really bad against the pass. I did not know they were bad against the pass like that. Okay, well, if I had to pick a strength of the Giants, I'd definitely say I wouldn't call it a strength. I would just say they're better at running than they are passing, I think. I guess I can look. I'll look just in case I sound really dumb. Because obviously I don't watch every single game. But if you want me to, make this my full-time job. Watch, like, subscribe, share, all that stuff. Okay, so offensive rankings, they're like dead last in points scored. Passing, they're bad. Rushing, they're middle of the road. Yeah, so I was right. Okay. So basically, the only thing that the Giants' offense is average at, the Ravens are really good at stopping. So huge advantage to the Ravens. Now let's see here. Baltimore Ravens versus the Giants defense here. Let's pull this up. New York Giants. Come on now. Okay, so yeah. Holy cow. I feel like, are the Giants bad at stopping the run? I don't know. Okay, they're middle of the road as a total defense. Good at stopping the pass, bad at stopping the run. Yeah, this is just a matchup nightmare for the Giants. Just a matchup nightmare. Ravens easily winning this game. If they don't, it'll be probably the biggest surprise of the week. Okay, let's hop into Bengals-Titans. And Joe Burrow, who has gone through some rough stuff lately. Question is, will it affect the team? Or will it affect him enough where he can't go the way he'd want to go? I don't doubt that he'll play. I just maybe doubt that he will play up to the way he's been playing. I mean, who knows? Maybe he'll just like internalize it and be angry about it. Okay. So the Titans defensive line definitely has some great people. They like to, I wouldn't say anyone is like elite. I mean, Jeffrey Simmons is like close to that, but they definitely have some people who they can rotate and play and who play well. So I would say that's a big disadvantage to the Bengals. And the secondary, I know the Titans are good at stopping the pass, but I think it has a lot to do with their defensive line. So, let's see the statistics here. Because I don't know if it'll matter. Like, obviously, the Titans' defensive line is way better than the Bengals' offensive line. It's just a matter of, like, I don't think that affects Joe Burrow. Like, obviously, it affects him, but I think he knows how to play with it. They've allowed the 27th most points, but they've only allowed the second most yards. That's crazy. They're the best against the pass in passing yards. Holy cow. They're not great. They're like below average in the run game. Okay. Yeah, I think. Okay, we're gonna go. I don't know if I have the guts to say the Titans defense has the upper hand. I'm going to give a very slight notch to the Bengals. We're going to go 51-49 again. And I realize I'm saying 51-49 a lot, but also at the same time, the NFL is this close sometimes. It really is. You know, you could argue that you could count 10 plays in an NFL season that could make someone, a losing team or a playoff team. It really can be that way sometimes. I'm not saying that happens all the time, but it definitely could happen. So all these teams are really talented. It's just a matter of bringing them together and having the right scheme and coaching and camaraderie. There's a lot of things that go into it. Okay, Titans offensive line, talented in some ways, but they're playing very bad. Will Levis is playing bad. Tony Pollard's playing basically average, maybe a little below average. Calvin Ridley's, if he's going, he's going. If he's not, he's not. Westbrook-Ikine is a touchdown only kind of guy. The Bengals defense is just struggling overall. I really think they should put what's his name? Bengals cornerback rookie. 2023. What was his name? He's from DJ Turner. I think they should really put DJ Turner at safety. I think if you put him at safety, immediately he becomes one of the best safeties in the league. That's just my opinion. I think that the Bengals defensive line will have some good moments against the Titans offensive line, but I don't think this is just an ugly matchup. How are the Bengals against the run? That's what I want to know. If they're terrible, I might choose the Titans in this game. But if they're average, then I don't know. Okay, they're ranked 23rd in yards, 26th in touchdowns. Oof. I might give the edge to the Titans offense. I think this is going to be a really close game. I think there's two wild card factors to this game. One, how many times is Will Levis going to turn the ball over? And two, how much is Joe Burrow like mentally going through it after the home invasion? So, with that being said, do I trust Joe Burrow to get through mental problems more than Will Levis to get over turnover problems? So I'm going to pick the Bengals. Part of me doesn't want to, but I'm going to pick the Bengals. Very slim margin. I think it's going to be like a 3-point game. Maybe even like a 1-point game. Very close. Who do we got next? Holy cow, there's still a lot of games left. Let's go. Cardinals, Patriots. That's going to be a fun game. Let's see here. We're going to start with the Cardinals offense. We all know how I feel about the Cardinals offense. It's just a matter of time. A lot of fun to watch. A lot of young talent. I honestly didn't like their head coach when he was hired. I didn't think he would do much, but you know, he's got a team going here. Okay. So, let's see here. I know the Patriots have some good secondary players for sure. Wow, Jabril Peppers is 29. Wow, he's been playing well in the past few years. Good for him. Yeah, I mean, they just got a lot of... The Patriots defense is so complicated because they have so many guys that do so many different things. So it's definitely interesting to say the least. You know, let me check out some of these rankings for the Patriots defense. New England Patriots. Come on, where are you at? There you are. It's crazy how much the Patriots have fallen off compared to what they used to be. Okay, ranked 21 in points allowed, 14th in pass yards, 20th in rushing yards. Okay. I'm gonna have to give the the edge to the Cardinals offense here. And I think I know the answer to Patriots offense, Cardinals defense, but we'll see. Let's double check here. Okay, Drake May. I'm not a big fan of Drake May. I don't think he's been playing better than I thought he would, but I don't know. I wasn't as big of a fan as other people were. His offensive line is not playing well. He doesn't have a lot of options. Ramondre Stevenson's solid, but even the Cardinals defense isn't playing great either. I think this is going to be a close game. I might give the edge a little bit to the Cardinals defense. I think it'll be a closer game than 6 points. The NFL's just been close in general this year. I sounded Canadian right there. In general. But it's been close in general. I'm going to go ahead and go with the Cardinals as like a 3-point favorite. So I'm going to stick with that. Next game, wow, we have Broncos, Colts, got Peyton Manning teams playing each other. That's interesting. I think the Colts are coming off a bye week. Final bye week of the season. So let's pull this up here. Okay, we're going to start with the Colts offense, Broncos defense. I know the Broncos have been playing some really good defense lately. Let's see this. Okay, Anthony Richardson, definitely playing better than he did last year. I think he's starting to get it a little more. Josh Downs playing really well when he's healthy. I think the Colts have a really good wide receiver group. They just need to just stick with them and let them grow. Just stop drafting wide receivers. You don't need any more. Jonathan Taylor has not been playing well. If he's not hurt, I don't know. Also, their offensive line hasn't been great at times. Yeah, I think with the way this Broncos defense is playing their secondary, you got Pat Surtain too. Yeah, it's I'm definitely going to give the edge to the Broncos defense. Let's do the flip side here. Where are we here? Broncos offense, Colts defense. Come on now. Load for me. The big thing is, because I believe the Colts have invested a lot in their defensive line, if I'm not mistaken. So it's a matter of, can they overpower the Broncos offensive line? Let's see here. Okay, the interior offensive line is where they struggle a little bit, but their center, but Ben Powers even, he's solid. He's a strong dude. The Colts secondary is good. They're a good matchup for this group. I'm gonna pick. I think I'm gonna give the edge to the Colts defense. Let me see maybe where they're ranking here. Let's see here. Colts, Indianapolis Colts. So they're ranked 29 in points allowed, 19 points allowed, 29 in yards allowed, 13 in passing yards, 31 in rushing. Oh my gosh, they've been terrible. Holy cow. But I don't think the Broncos can really run the ball that well either. I don't think Javante's been playing pretty well, but let me take a look here. How are they doing in running the ball? 20th in running the ball. Yeah, they haven't been great. Yeah, I might give the edge to the Colts defense. So I'm going to pick the Broncos, but again, I think it's going to be a really close game. Very close game. I just think the Broncos are going to create some turnovers and win the game. All right, let's keep it moving here. Wow, we still got a good amount of games. Okay, this is where it gets fun. This is where it gets really fun. Oh, there's 2 Monday night games? Ew. I hate when that happens. It's so annoying. It's not like I'm going to watch Atlanta Raiders anyway. But let's see. Okay. Buffalo, Detroit. Okay, no, let's do this. Let's do this because I'm going to go through some of these less important games very fast. And then I'm going to go through the big games here. I'm going to pick so Tampa Bay, Los Angeles Chargers, that's a good game. Holy cow. A lot of these games are good games. Okay. I think first snapshot here, I'm going to pick the Chargers to beat the Bucks. I think I'm going to pick the Vikings to beat Chicago, even though that game kind of scares me. And then I'm going to pick Atlanta to beat the Raiders. So we got Chargers, Vikings, Raiders. The next we have probably the best 3 games of the week. So we've got Bills, Lions, Steelers, Eagles, Packers, Seahawks. And Packers, Seahawks is a great game, but let's start with that one. Even though it's Sunday night, I don't think it's a better game than the other two. Again, I've mentioned before, this has huge playoff implications. Huge, huge. I think whoever wins this probably has the edge on a wild card spot. And if I'm Seattle, I am doing everything I can to win this game. So let's see the matchup here. So we're going to start with Packers offense, Seahawks defense. Okay. The Packers offensive line has not been playing well at all. You know, the Seattle's defensive line has been playing better. I think with their secondary, wow. Okay. I don't think the Packers are going to be able to pass very much on this team. So let's see where the Seahawks rank in terms of run defense. Because if they are solid or better than solid, I might give the edge to the Seahawks defense on this one. I just can't imagine being a defensive head coach and not being good at stopping the run. That's crazy to me. Okay, they're ranked 11th in points allowed, 18th in yards allowed. Solid in, really good against the pass for the most part. 21st in rushing yards, 7th in rushing touchdowns. Okay, 16th in attempts. Okay. That's not bad. Not great either because the Packers are really good at running the ball. Oof. I just don't think they're going to be able to run play action as much as you would think. Oh my gosh, this one's hard. I really, really believe in running the ball. Josh Jacobs has been so good this year. I think I'm going to go Packers 51-49 on offense against Seattle's defense. Then we're going to go Let's see here. Come on now. Okay, we're going to go Seattle's offense versus Green Bay's defense. Oops. Green Bay's defense. Come on now. Load for me. Okay. So their offensive line hasn't been great. The Packers' defensive line hasn't really been great. Their secondary is probably one of their better spots. Obviously, with Xavier McKinney, has been playing really, really well for them. Evan Williams has been playing solid. Keyshawn Nixon, Jair Alexander. Let's see where they're ranked here. Seattle Seahawks. Here we go. Okay, so on offense, the Seahawks are third in passing, 27th in rushing. And then the Packers defense, this is going to be a really, really good game. Holy cow, this is going to be a good game. Okay, so defensively, they're ranked 9th. They're 22nd in yards for passing, 9th in rushing. Oof. Okay, so basically, you're going to have a Packers team that's going to try to run the ball a lot, control the game, and you're going to have a Seahawks team that can pass the ball like crazy. So then it's going to come down to how much, like who can control the clock more. And another aspect of it, it's in Seattle. Packers are 2-point favorites. That's a close game. Holy cow. I think I'm going to go with my gut. I think I'm going to go Green Bay. I think Seattle's going to miss the playoffs. I'm sorry, Seahawks fans, but I think if you lose this game, you're not beating Los Angeles. I think you're not making the playoffs. I know it's crazy to say as you're 8-6, but I don't think you're making the playoffs. I'm going to go Green Bay on this one. Holy cow. Okay, we are going to go next. We're going to go Steelers-Eagles, which I think will probably be a more fun game. Maybe not a more fun, just a more hard-fought game than the Bills-Lions, just because these two teams are really good. The fact that the Eagles are 5.5-point favorites is so disrespectful. That is so disrespectful. Holy cow. Okay. This is how we want to play it. Let's play it. I'm going to start with the Eagles offense, Steelers defense, because I think that's going to be the less interesting aspect of this game, because I think the game is going to be won from Steelers offense, Eagles defense. Okay. I try not to be biased against the Eagles. I'm not a big fan of them at all. Okay, this is going to be like a clash for the ages. On the Eagles offensive line versus the Steelers defensive line is going to be nuts. This is going to be so fun to watch. Holy cow. I cannot wait. I told my wife, I'm like, Vikings don't play at noon. You know, they play Monday night. Sunday, I can just like keep an eye on the games. From 3:30 until the end of Sunday Night Football, do not ask me for anything. Do not talk to me at all, because I'm going to be flipping between Steelers Eagles and Bills Lions and then Packers Seahawks on Sunday night. I'm so excited. These are the kind of games you want to see. Okay, let's take a look at the Steelers here. Are they coming off a loss? I don't remember. Are the Steelers coming off a loss? Steelers schedule. Because I don't think the Eagles are. Let's see here. I'm pulling up the... Oh, no, they just... Wait, did they just lose to the Browns? No, they just beat the Browns. That's right. Okay. So defensively, they are not great against the pass. and very good against the run. And the Eagles have not been able to pass, but they do have the talent to. But again, not great perspective-wise. 18th. Like they're a little bit below average. They're not allowing a lot of touchdowns. Oh my gosh, this is going to be such a good game, dude. Holy cow, this is going to be such a good game. I cannot wait. Oh my gosh, who do I give the edge to? You got Saquon, but the Steelers have been able to stop the run. They're 4th in yards allowed, 13th in touchdowns allowed. So what that tells me, if they get to the tush push range in the red zone, and no, I'm not calling it the brotherly shove because, yeah, it's a tush push. I'll let you know why, or I'll let you think of why. You got Dallas Goedert out, Devontae Smith and AJ Brown are back. You got all this news about Jalen not being able to pass. I can't pick. I literally can't pick. I think it's 50-50. It's a complete coin toss. And that's why I think the other side of this game is going to be the more interesting part. So Steelers offense versus Eagles defense. Okay. Obviously, the Eagles have an offensive or a talented defensive line. The Steelers offensive line is better than it's been in recent years, but it's still not great. So, you've got Najee Harris, you've got George Pickens, who I am assuming is going to play in this game. That's going to change things. Actually, I don't know if it will. I honestly don't know if it will because I got to see these rankings for the Eagles here because my thought process is I know the Eagles secondary has been playing really well, but I don't think the Steelers are going to care. I think they're just going to try to run the ball. But okay, rankings here. So the Eagles are first ranked in yards, second in pass. Second in passing yards allowed, 8th in rushing. Okay. Holy cow. This is a good defense. Okay, is George Pickens playing? Because, okay, maybe it does matter. Playing against Eagles. Yeah, Jay Gruden, Steelers have no chance without George Pickens on Sunday. Steelers likely to be without Pickens versus Eagles. Oof. Who else you got? I mean, you got Mike Williams. You got Van Jefferson. My mind's telling me no. Oh, my gosh. Okay, all the stats, everything says Eagles. But I'm going to pick the Steelers. I love the Steelers so much, and I just don't like the Eagles. I just have a feeling that Jalen's going to mess things up. I could be wrong, though. I don't know. This is probably the hardest game to pick. I'm going to pick Steelers because I believe in the Steelers a lot. I like the Steelers. I'm just going to pick the Steelers. I may be wrong. I just want the Steelers to win. Not even anything to do with the Vikings. I don't really like the Eagles, but I don't know, man. I think Russell Wilson might just find a way. I think I'm going to pick the Steelers. I think they're being so disrespected. I think George Pickens matters, but I don't think he matters as much as everyone says he does. Yeah, I'm picking Steelers. Okay, so for the last game of the week, we've got Lions-Bills. Holy cow, what a game. So let's start with Lions offense because this is at Detroit. We're going to start with Lions offense, Bills defense. Bills are coming off a loss. Lions, who did they just beat? They just beat somebody, I'm pretty sure. Well, obviously, they've only lost once. They just barely beat the Packers. That's right. Okay. So, Detroit's offense versus Bills' defense. Okay, in the trenches, the Lions have this one pretty handedly. Secondary-wise, yeah, you got to pretty much say that the Lions have this in the bag offensively, just talent-wise. But let me take a look at some rankings of where they're at. So defensively, they're ranked 14th in yards allowed, 9th in passing yards allowed, 19th in rushing yards allowed. Oof. This is going to be a long day for the Bills defense, I think. Long day. Okay. I'm going pretty handedly. We're leaning towards the Lions offense. Let's see here. Bills offense, Lions defense. I think there is something to be said that the fact that the Bills just came off a loss. I really believe that. Okay, we got... the offensive line of the Bills is probably below average. Defensive line of the Lions is playing really, really well. Their secondary is where they struggle. Josh Allen is going to have a good game, I think. I don't think they're going to get to him as much as they'll want to. This is a toss-up game, man. I think the Lions definitely have an upper hand being able to run the ball. I will say that. Let me see if there's anything on the injury report that matters. I guess I could have checked that last time. Let's see here. Anything on the injury report here? Okay, Bills, Rasul Douglas is out. Kincaid is questionable. McNeil's questionable. DJ Reed. Okay, both their defensive tackles are questionable. That changes things. But let's just assume they'll play. Detroit is 2.5-point favorites. I think I'm going to pick the Bills because I think it's going to be close. I think the Lions have a better team, but I think I'm going to pick the Bills mainly because of the fact that they're coming off of a loss. And 2 losses in a row for a team like the Bills is not going to happen very often. I'd rather bet on those odds than bet on like this close of a game where the Lions have a little bit of an edge. So, yeah. So just to recap here, I've got Carolina beating Dallas, Cleveland beating Kansas City, Miami beating Houston, Jets beating Jags, Redskins beating Saints, Ravens beating Giants, the Bengals beating the Titans, the Cardinals beating the Patriots, the Broncos beating the Colts, the Bills beating the Lions, the Chargers beating the Bucks, the Steelers beating the Eagles, Green Bay beating Seattle, Minnesota beating Chicago, and Atlanta beating Las Vegas. I know we didn't talk a lot about the Atlanta game. I think it's pretty obvious. They are sliding right now, and they need to beat a bad team like Las Vegas. They just have to. So, yeah, that's kind of the rundown. That's the end of the week for the podcast this week. I can't believe we're already this far into the podcast. This is so much fun to do. Obviously, we had a lot of mix-ups at the beginning of this one, but a lot of fun to just break down. Don't forget to follow me on X. TWYCF on X. Take What You Can Football on X. My name is Terrell. I appreciate anyone who listens to this podcast. And at the end of every podcast, we always like to focus on Jesus. Do not forget that Jesus died for your sins. He loves you. It's already been done. You just have to accept him into your heart. You will have eternal salvation. He'll guide you. He'll bring you to lengths that you never thought you could in your character and in your life, in terms of the things that happen. I'm eternally grateful for him, and praise the Lord, and thank you to anybody that listens. Just have a great day, have a great weekend, and take care.